What up, all my fight fans? So we had ourselves a fight night last week. Well, this past Saturday, I guess you could say, we had ourselves bare knuckle fighting championship, I guess you could say, BKFC. And what a night it was! What a few fights it was. You know, they had some good fights on there, but the main ones that people are talking about, of course, are Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendes, and you got Mike Perry and Luke Rockhold. Let's break those down for you. Let's get into this fight real quick with Eddie Alvarez and Chad Mendes. These guys threw some bombs. These guys traded knockdowns. These guys literally slugged it out. And man, was it a very entertaining fight. I highly recommend you guys seeing it. I really do. I mean, definitely, stop what you're doing. It's not a very super long fight, but it is a very entertaining fight. Very entertaining. Chad Mendes, we already know Chad Mendes can brawl. He had skills, he had hands. He was in bare knuckle before, and the power that he carries, he can pretty much drop anybody down. He looks obviously a lot more bigger than he was when he was in the UFC. So yes, he is definitely a force to be reckoned with in this fight. He had great hands in this fight. Like I said, he dropped Eddie Alvarez a couple of times, and he looked really, really good. But unfortunately, the winner of this fight is the next guy I'm going to talk about, is Eddie Alvarez. And who knew how good he was? Of course, we all kind of knew. We all know Eddie Alvarez, the underground king. We know Eddie Alvarez, who is known for his style and where he can actually just swing and bang and pretty much throw haymakers and does not give up whatsoever. Even if the fight is not going his way, he does not give up. And he is one hell of a fighter, one hell of a champion. And he went in there and he banged it out with Eddie Alvarez. He looked really, really good. He pretty much was controlling the fight, majority of the fight. He did drop Eddie Alvarez. He overwhelmed him. I can't remember what round it was. Maybe it was the second. And then he traded knockdowns in the third round. But he ended up getting that decision due to points. So yes, I am definitely very happy to see this fight, and definitely very happy to see Eddie Alvarez continue on with his career. Not sure what's going to happen with Chad Mendes, but yes. Now, what's going to happen with both these guys, I guess we should go and move on towards that. Eddie Alvarez, I do think he has a promising career in bare knuckle, but I would prefer to see him against other stars. I would prefer to see him against somebody else in a different organization. I would love to see him back in the UFC. He made one hell of a killing, one hell of a debut. He fought the who's who in the UFC, and he beat the who's who in the UFC, and he actually became the champion in the UFC. So guys, I personally would love to see the trilogy come to an end. My favorite trilogy probably of all time would be Eddie Alvarez versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, going up there against Conor McGregor pretty soon. We're not sure exactly when that fight's going to take place, but yes, that's my preferred opinion. He can always go back to somewhere like Bellator, which he reigns supreme for a very long time over there, has a great relationship with them. Or he can stay in bare knuckle, where he can fight some of these guys, and he has great hands. You already saw it. And, maybe they do pay him quite a bit, and he likes that pay. So, hey, why not just stay where you're at? That's my opinion. As far as Chad Mendes goes, this is Chad Mendes' second fight in 2 years. He doesn't seem like he is very, very keen on fighting. Like, this seems more like, hey, you know what, let's do this once a year, let's make a little money and continue with my life. It doesn't seem like he's so deep invested into his fighting career anymore. It almost seems like he wants to do it here and there just to keep some money in his pocket. Not saying he's broke or anything, but just, because he still has that fire. But it's not to where he wants to become like a world champ or anything like that. He still wants to keep it going a little bit to where he possibly gets some more paydays and more big fights like this. Again, yeah, the special guest over there was a little Conor McGregor, so you never know what could happen there. But hey, I'm definitely going to talk more about that one as well. So there you have it. Eddie Alvarez wins by decision, and it was a great fight, guys. On to the next fight. Got Luke Rockhold versus Mike Perry. We all pretty much anticipated Mike Perry doing his thing. Mike Perry was born, we all talk about it, how he was born to do bare knuckle. He is just constantly a fighting machine. He always likes to bring it. He always likes to go out there and swing and bang for the fences and such. He just constantly puts pressure on you and doesn't care. He'll take 20 hits just to get one hit. That's just the kind of person Mike Perry was, and that's what he did. Luke Rockhold, this was his bare knuckle debut, but at the end of the day, he ended up coming up a little short. It looks like the fight was stopped. I don't know if he had like a broken jaw or something, but he pretty much gave up, told the ref, hey, I can't do this no more. And Mike Perry pretty much won the fight by TKO, I guess you could say. So, but it was still a very interesting fight, very entertaining fight. Luke Rockhold did okay, but I don't think Luke Rockhold is cut out for bare knuckle. He has a great modeling career, or he did. I'm not sure where that is at. So I really wouldn't recommend him doing this very long. As far as bare knuckle, because yeah, when it comes to bare knuckle, there's no gloves, and you're destined to get scratched up. You're destined to get scarred up. You're destined to get cut. It's just gonna happen. That's something you got to come to terms with, and that's just unfortunately for Luke. He just gave up. He couldn't cut it anymore, and at the end of the day, Mike Perry won. And I just mentioned Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor stepped in the ring. Mike Perry said he wanted a little face-off. How fun would that be? That's a good way to segue to what's next for Mike Perry. How fun would that be if Conor McGregor came into bare knuckle? I mean, he already went in there. You saw two of his fighters, Eddie Alvarez and Chad Mendes, that he already beat. You know, and you got Mike Perry, who is really not that much bigger than Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, known for his hands. He has beautiful hands. You know, we saw what he was able to do with guys like Nate Diaz, Eddie Alvarez, Chad Mendes, even that knockout he did with Jose Aldo. Conor McGregor has always had sniper skill hands. 100% just always accurate with his punches and very, very, very powerful. So yeah, I definitely be very interested to see Conor McGregor in bare knuckle. That would be a very fun fight for me. That could be potentially be for next for Mike Perry. Very unlikely though, due to the fact that Conor McGregor is signed with UFC, and UFC is not too keen on letting their fighters fight in other promotions, especially when it comes to boxing or bare knuckle and such. So what I think would be more likely next for Mike Perry would be that possible winner, the winner that of this fight. Darren Till wanted that, so we could possibly see a Darren Till versus Mike Perry fight. That could actually be very, very fun and very interesting in itself. So that I would definitely love to see. Darren Till always had really good hands. He's always been really come up short against wrestlers, except for when he fought against Jorge Masvidal. So that would be a fun fight as well. Now, as far as Luke Rockhold goes, I hope he goes to a different promotion. I would love to see him go to Bellator. You know, go with Scott Coker. He was working with Scott back in the day with Strikeforce and such, and go over there and try to maybe claim up another title. I mean, who would not want to see Luke Rockhold against MVP, or Luke Rockhold versus Gegard Mousasi? You know, there's a few other fun fights out there that he could possibly potentially make. He could go up to middleweight. He could go up to light heavyweight, possibly even heavyweight. Maybe the weight cut was just too much for Luke Rockhold, because I believe the weight cut was like 175. And Luke Rockhold had a struggle of even at 185. So, yeah, you never know. Maybe that could be a potential dream matchup that we could get. And he could potentially even get a rematch with Yoel Romero, because Yoel Romero is right over there as well. And you never know. He could actually claim another title. So, yeah, there's all options for Luke Rockhold. Well, there you guys have it. Check out the fights. It's on YouTube. Luke Rockhold versus Mike Perry. Eddie Alvarez versus Chad Mendes. Check these fights out. They're great fights. I am very pumped to see them. See them again. You know, I can't wait for these guys to continue fighting. It's just great night of fights, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.